Haft o mind. Long meeting was long. Now, way home is home. That tree is making like a tree and it's doing a bunch of leaves.
Where some of the wounded have died, and they say these people were killed by live fire. Others have been killed by being hit by tear gas canisters. Today I met the father of a 13-year-old boy who was killed that way. And the Prime Minister, he has said he would resign, but now he seems to be digging in.
I know we can't predict where this is going to end up, but it does seem like the situation is deteriorating. Is that the sense you're getting out there?
It is. The more this goes on, the more dense are, the more the protesters are digging in, and it's becoming more and more grim. I sat with doctors and nurses who said they believe security forces were now deliberately targeting medical volunteers. And I also talked to some people who were Iraqi soldiers and religious officers who have joined the group. Their names, but here's what a couple had to say. Dying has become normal for us. Security forces.
That is NPR's Jane Arap, and thank you very much, Jane.
Thank you. Germany, where the country is marking the 30th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. NPR's peacefully tearing down the wall, a symbol of a divided Europe. When he graduated a year later, he packed his bags for the new free Germany, where he found a job as the principal trumpet player for the Symphony Orchestra of Görlitz, a city in eastern Germany. When he arrived, he took a look around and wondered if he had made a mistake.
sah katastrophal, es war wie eine Ruine, sah die Stadt aus.
It was catastrophic. It looked like a city in ruins. It wasn't in good shape.
And it was about to get worse. As Ursu arrived, everyone else was leaving. Andrea Federica Baer was a teenager when her hometown lost half its population as tens of thousands left to find work in the West.
Everything was dark outside. All the buildings, there was no paint on the wall. You thought, oh God, these buildings are going to break down.
Baer left too. She studied abroad in America. And while she was away, the German government provided the construction funds for Gerlitz. So when she returned as an adult, her hometown looked very different.
Wenn Sie heute, oder Sie sehen, ich könnte Ihre Frage, bitte.
beyond the country's borders.
We looked at like a dream. I mean, like, when it would be the day that we have quality wine like they do in Argentina. It was like a utopic dream. But now we're making good wine, man. You know, after these many years, we are in the same quality of Argentina and Chile, and that's only because of the grapes, a lot of learning in the process, of course, a lot of work.
For NPR News, I'm John Otis in Tarija, Bolivia.
You're listening to All Things Considered from NPR News. Support for 89.3 WFPL comes from Louisville Tourism, boosting Louisville's economy through tourism development since 1968 by supporting more than 27,000 local hospitality industry-related jobs and promoting our city as a world-class destination. Details at go-to-louisville.com. From the Arts Association of Oldham County 8th Annual Fall Art Show, an indoor jury arts and crafts show featuring national and regional artists tomorrow from 10 to 5, Sunday 11 to 4 at the John W. Black Community Center in the Grange. Details on Facebook, Oldham Arts or 222-3822.
Is his top talking point. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo.
There was no quid pro quo, so
That is the story that starts to unravel when Gordon Sondland adds 3 new pages to his testimony this week. I'm Michael Barbaro. That's today on The Daily from the New York Times.
And the Daily's coming up this evening at 6 o'clock on 89.3 WFPL.
With so much going on in Louisville, it can be overwhelming to make plans.
We like happy hour Friday night.
Driving down River Road at sunset.
Sitting at park in the river and just, being outdoors and breathing it in.
Oh, I love to go down to the waterfront and see all our friends.
Right up to the Jefferson Forest. You look out at the overlook, looking back down into the city of Louisville.
Visit do502.com for guides to everything you love about Louisville, all in one place.
Louisville weather for tonight, turning colder, low 25 degrees. We'll have sunny skies tomorrow, high 50. A little warmer for Sunday, high 62 with sunshine. Right now, 37 degrees in Louisville. It's 5:50 WFPL.
From NPR News, this is All Things Considered. I'm Elsa Chang.
And I'm Mary Louise Kelly. The musician FKA Twigs wants you to know that it is okay to be not okay. Her breathy soprano and Baroque pop arrangements impressed critics when her debut album came out in 2014. Since then, Twigs has been through a lot. Her relationship with an A-list actor ended with lots of tabloid coverage, and the classically trained dancer had a health scare. She had surgery to remove tumors from her uterus. It is that pain that feeds the drama of FKA Twigs' sophomore album, Magdalene, as she recently told my co-host, Audie Cornish.
The truth is, I'm so grateful to have gone through such intense pain and confusion emotionally and physically. It's been beautiful, and during that time I've really deciphered who I am and what I want. I think the biggest thing that I've learned on this album is truly how to write for my voice. I feel like I sort of found the key and stepped out of my soprano golden bird cage.
This is very much out of the soprano golden cage, I think.
Yeah.
Do you mind me asking about your process?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I always feel a bit sort of strange, I guess, talking about my process because truly each time is completely different. Like when on the mic, I pretty much sound the whole thing on tape almost, and the vocal that's there is the vocal that I did in the hour.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I think on this right now as we talk, I'm sitting here in my like wushu training gear with my sword at my feet.
Yes, you are practicing. It's a martial art, correct? Or sword
Yeah,
fighting?
exactly. Yeah, right now I'm completely like I'm back into practice mode, which is my safe place. But I do acknowledge that sometimes that isn't enough, and there is a realm beyond practice which you can't control, and that's what I learned in making Magdalene. It was a really great lesson.
Well, FK Twigs, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
FK Twigs' latest album is called Magdalene. It's out now. This is NPR News. Support for NPR comes from this station and from Stars, presenting the original series Dublin Murders, based on the novels In the Woods and The Likeness by Tana French. Dublin Murders premieres November 10th at 8 p.m. on Stars. From Home Advisor, committed to helping homeowners find the right pros for their home projects. Homeowners can read reviews, book appointments, and check cost guides for home projects at homeadvisor.com or on the mobile app. And from C3.ai. C3.ai software enables organizations to use artificial intelligence at enterprise scale, solving previously unsolvable business problems. Learn more at C3.ai.
You've been listening to All Things Considered on 89.3 WFPL. Stay tuned for a news update coming up, followed by The Daily.
Support for 89.3 WFPL comes from UNL's College of Business, providing online programs created to develop leadership skills and business savvy. Online programs include an MBA, certificates in franchising and distilled spirits, and accounting programs that prep for the CPA. Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. Details at svdplou.org.
37 degrees at Louisville at 6 o'clock.
This is 89.3 WFPL Louisville and at WFPL.org from Louisville Public Media.
And he said there was no quid pro quo. And that is the story
Hey,
that
guys,
starts to
6
unravel when Gordon Sondland
It's getting
adds
dark.
3 new pages to his testimony this week.
I
I'm Michael
Japan, I
Marmon.
already be pitch
That's coming
black.
up on the Daily from the New
The
York
third
Times.
sunrise comes at like 4 a.m. It's insane.
The Daily is supported by Fidelity Investments, taking a personalized approach to helping clients grow, preserve, and manage their wealth. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. And by C3.ai, addressing the world's most challenging problems at the convergence of artificial intelligence, IoT, and elastic cloud computing. Learn more at C3.ai.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Janine Herbst. House Republicans are adding a top Trump ally on Capitol Hill to the Intelligence Committee to help fight the impeachment inquiry. And here's Claudia Denizales reports Congressman Jim Jordan of Ohio will be a key figure for Republicans in new open hearings. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy selected Jordan to join the intelligence panel to battle a, quote, sham process. The move comes days before Democrats are set to launch a series of open hearings in a new public phase of the impeachment inquiry. House investigators are examining claims President Trump pressured the Ukrainian president for a probe of his political opponent in exchange for U.S. military aid. McCarthy said another Republican member of the Intelligence Committee, Rick Crawford of Arkansas, would step down for his seat for Jordan. Jordan is a top public supporter of Trump and has led GOP questioning and closed-door impeachment hearings. Claudia Denizales, NPR News, Washington. Brazil's former president, Lula da Silva, is out of jail. Last year, he was sentenced to nearly 9 years in prison.
Aiden, if you are paying attention to this, send it to the other number. Send it to my work phone. Because otherwise, I'm not going to see the message you sent me until I actually get home.
Lockup. Place spent the last 580 days. The 74-year-old two-term president dived into the waiting crowd, who greeted him with hugs, songs and flowers. He made an emotional speech thanking his supporters. The release of Lula, as he's known, follows a court ruling saying convicted defendants can remain at liberty until all appeals are exhausted. He faces more corruption allegations. Yet for now, his return to the political battlefield is being celebrated by the left across Latin America as a major victory and a big setback for his opponent, Brazil's far-right President Jair Bolsonaro. That brings NPR News Realish News.
President Trump says he has not agreed to remove any of the tariffs that he has placed on Chinese imports a day after a Chinese official said both countries had agreed to a phased cancellation of their tariff hikes as part of an emerging agreement. This as the world's two biggest economies struggle to end their trade war, and China's trade surplus with the U.S. widened last month. NPR's Emily Fang reports the imbalance.
God, this clutch is so smooth.
China's declining trade numbers have been exacerbated by a trade war with the U.S., but stem more from structural problems in its own economy.
NPR's Emily Fang. Wall Street higher by the closing bell. The Dow up 6 points. The Nasdaq up 40 points. The S&P 500 up 7 points. Closing territory at 393. This is NPR. Public health officials call the discovery a breakthrough. From member station WABE in Atlanta, Sam Whitehead has more.
The agency tested lung fluid from 29 patients from 10 states and found vitamin E acetate in each sample. The substance had been found in many products tied to the lung illness. And Shook is with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention.
Vitamin E acetate usually does not cause harm when swallowed or applied topically to the skin. However, previous research suggests that when vitamin E acetate is inhaled, it may interfere with normal lung function.
The investigation is ongoing. The CDC says more than one substance could be causing the lung illness outbreak that's killed at least 39 people and sickened thousands. For NPR News, I'm Sam Whitehead in Atlanta.
The solar system's smallest innermost planet will put on a rare celestial show next week. Mercury will parade across the sun on Monday in view of most of the world. And unlike its 2016 trip, Mercury will score a near bullseye this time, passing almost dead center in front of the sun. The entire 5.5-hour event will be visible in the eastern U.S. and Canada and all of Central and South America, but only weather permitting. Asia and Australia will miss out on this show. I'm Janine Herbst, and you're listening to NPR News from Washington.
Support for NPR comes from NPR stations. Other contributors include the Annie E. Casey Foundation, developing solutions to ensure that families and communities have opportunities to create a brighter future for America's youth. More information is available at aecf.org.
From the New York Times, I'm Michael Lamar. This is the thing. Today, he was brought into the Trump administration as a loyal donor to the president. Now, his testimony in the impeachment inquiry is so damning that Republicans are accusing him of betrayal. Mike Schmidt on the saga of Gordon Sondland. It's Friday, November 8th. Mike, over the past week, what has been the story of the impeachment inquiry?
Every day.
Next this evening, the impeachment showdown tonight, investigators releasing the first wave of transcripts of the
New transcripts of depositions
Former Ukrainian Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch describing a shadow campaign
that were conducted with witnesses behind closed doors in the basement of the Capitol have been released.
At the Capitol, the impeachment battle for now is on paper, but no less intense
2 pages that we're talking about, his revision.
Was a letter and a 3-page addendum that revised what he had said in his interview. Things that he wished he had initially laid out. And they turned out to include new evidence about how the Trump administration was directly pressuring the Ukrainians.
So, I want to get to Sondland's testimony, but I want to start with Sondland himself, whose name we have heard a lot over the past few weeks, but who we've never really gotten to know all that well. What is his story exactly, and how does he fit in to the story of the Trump administration and Ukraine?
But for now, let's bring Gordon up and welcome him to the stage. Thanks, Gordon.
Gordon Sondland is a middle-of-the-road Republican.
Well, I started in Seattle as a commercial real estate broker. I know there are quite a few out here.
Who built massive hotel management and commercial real estate businesses in the upper Northwest. His company ran and bought and refurbished boutique hotels in cities like